sit back, relax, and enjoy, because, ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime!
It's not gonna happen, and Daniel McMillan,
Pennsylvania native, kept your winning here at Pocono.
Third win of the season, and win the championship.
Ryan Benjamin with the last lap pass,
And he is going to score the victory in the Minute Maid 300.
Samet Ozkan, third win of the season.
He's gonna get it and only leads 3 laps today!
Welcome to the NOFSRL.
Hello everybody, this is Napa Fan here, and this is the finale race in season number 9 of the NOFSRL Chick-Fil-A Cup Series. We are here at the Darlington Raceway in Darlington, South Carolina for the Mello Yello Southern 500. This a 74-lap event around this 1.366 mile speedway. And today, we will crown a champion in Season 9 of the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series. But for the first time in a finale since the elimination format, we will have a championship battle in this finale race. Nathan Baird, your points leader, 4 points ahead of Shane Lake. Baird starts 5th and Lake starts 12th here on this Sunday afternoon at Darlington. I'm joined alongside Matt Tuck for the call of this finale race, and it has been an intense season all around between all of these drivers. And now it comes down to just 4 points between Baird and Shane Lake, and there are other guys as well, like Alexander Rowe, 24 points behind, Silas Orta, 37 points behind, who also have a shot at winning this championship. How aggressive are all the championship competitors going to be here today in this Mello Yello Southern 500?
I definitely expect to see a lot of people get very aggressive here. Obviously, point track position is important, and you got a lot of points on the line here. A lot of things, still a lot of undetermined races. I don't think Owners is locked up. I know Rookie of the Year isn't locked up, so all sorts of things are set to be in battle here. See a lot of things on the line here in today's race.
A lot of things indeed. You mentioned the owner's points. I know that's very close. The Rookie of the Year is also very interesting as well, because Samet Ozkan currently leads it by 4 rookie points over Shane Lake. So if 4 rookies finish in between Shane Lake and Samet Ozkan, Shane Lake will end up winning the Rookie of the Year. But Gatlin Downey's also got a shot at that, and he is the best of the rest coming into this race and could clinch that best of the rest championship. The best driver who didn't make the chase in the point standings. Obviously, he won last weekend at Daytona. But it's a big race for so many drivers, including one driver in particular, starting there in the 7th position. Trey Bartow in the number 4 has been in every single Chick-Fil-A Cup Series race up to this point. Well, today is going to be his final Chick-Fil-A Cup Series race as a full-time driver, and he has been in that number 4 machine for every season of the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series as well, and we will be retiring that number, as he is the only driver to have driven the same number in every single season up to this point, and we want nobody else but Trey Bartow to have driven that number 4 here in the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series. So, one last ride for Trey Bartow, and an opportunity at winning here today as well. A great starting position there in 7th, but we'll definitely miss Trey. And another driver also retiring. He's going to be a full-time owner next year. That's Nathan Stapleton in the number 97. Of course, we all remember what happened in Season 7 at Martinsville when he got his first career win in one of the wildest finishes we've ever seen. That was his only win up to this point, but even he has a good starting position there on the inside lane, starting in 13th. But the big story coming into this race is this championship battle, and these are the points coming into this finale race here today at Darlington. Nathan Baird, 2,250 points towards the championship. Shane Lake only 4 points behind. All Shane Lake needs to do is finish 4 positions ahead of Nathan Baird. If you take out all the bonus points, of course, he's got to get 4 points on Nathan Baird. If he ties with Nathan Baird in the points at the end of today, he will beat Nathan Baird for that championship on tiebreaker, as he has 4 wins and Nathan Baird has only gotten 1 win this season. Alexander Rowe, even though he starts in the last position here today, is 24 points behind. If something happens to Shane Lake and Nathan Baird, they wreck out and Alexander Rowe gets a top 10. Rowe could walk away with the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series championship. Silas Orta is 37 7 points behind. It's going to take a lot for him to win it, but he does start there in 4th. If he wins, Baird and Lake have an issue. He could win the championship, and the same goes for Samet, Ozkan, and Mark Davidson. A very slim chance of winning the championship. They need to win 46 and 47 points behind, respectively, but they still have a mathematical shot coming into today's event. The Mello Yello Southern 500, it's been a great season all around. A lot of different winners, but a lot of multi-time winners this season as well, including Shane Lake getting 4 wins on the year. We'll have to see if anyone gets their first win of the season, or maybe even their first win of their Chick-Fil-A Cup Series career here today in the Mello Yello Southern 500. But starting on the pole, it'll be the number 88 of Diego Yepez, fastest time in qualifying yesterday. Alongside him, it'll be Chase Harris in the number 40. But in run number 2, a couple of guys who have been very strong this season. Andrew Miller, a 2-time winner on the year, starting alongside Silas Orta in the number 3, who, if he wins and Baird and Shane Lake fall back enough in this race, could have an opportunity at that championship. But there is Nathan Baird, our points leader, starting in the 5th position. He'll be starting alongside Eli Bright in row number 3. And in his final ever Chick-Fil-A Cup Series race, Trey Bartow in the number 4. One last ride here today, starting in the 7th position. He's alongside Cameron Darlington in row 4 with Mark Davidson and Sebastian Kukulon in row 5. If Davidson wins and everyone else in the championship hunt pretty much finishes at the back of the field, he could win the championship himself here today. There's Shane Lake there starting in 12th. Samet Ozkan, he's got the same situation there as Mark Davidson. He starts deep in the field, and Alexander are only 24 points behind, but he starts in the last position here today. It's been a great season. So many guys have won races, and it's one last chance for these guys to get a race victory. Matt, who do you think is going to go to victory lane here in the Mello Yello Southern 500?
Well, since he's going to come to my team next year, he won't jinx it. I'm going to take Tristan Allen. He's going to walk it off today here in the season finale. Gonna win this race today. I know he's starting deep in the field. I am aware of that, but I think he can. I think he's the guy who can make up the spots.
It would be something if he got his first ever win here in this finale race. It would be something that Barton won in his final ever start. But we're gonna have a great championship battle. It's been a great season, guys. Thank you so much for a great season 9. The Mello Yello Southern 500 is green from Darlington. The finale race underway. Lap 1 will be led by Diego Yepez in the number 88, Andrew Miller. There goes Nathan Baird for 3rd as Chase Harris falls back in the 40. And Shane Lake already to that inside lane. He knew he had to get there in order to move his way up towards Nathan Baird in this one. And even though Baird has been able to clear for 3rd, Shane Lake is coming in the number 15 machine.
Shane Lake on the move early. His teammate Thomas Troxel also on the move early, who got an amazing jump off the initial start from that inside lane, already around Stapleton, trying to get around Chase Harris and crack into that top 6 or so early on in the going here. But so far, Yepez checked out. He's got Miller, Baird, and Orta all on his toe. It's going to be interesting to see, how long can Yepez hold on to that lead before these guys catch him.
Yeah, and now's the time to catch him. Fresh tires for all these drivers here at Darlington. And the later on in this run that we get, the slower they will become. The lap times will get about 2 to 2.5 seconds slower than they are right now once we get to the couple laps before the cycle of green flag pit stops. Of course, if it is green once we get to that. A 27 to 29 lap fuel run here should be a 2-stop race if it stays green. But of course, a long race here at Darlington, a lot can happen between now and the finish. Trey Bartow in 5th. Mark Davidson there in the 6th position. Chase Harris filing into 8th. And actually, I should say 7th there for the number 40 team. And then Thomas Troxel, Sebastian Kukulon, and Eli Bright ran out the top 10. Shane Lake, he started 12th, was on the outside lane, now in 11th. So he moved up a position from starting on the outside lane. Not too bad there for the driver number 15. And a big gap between Stapleton and now Fitzwater. Henderson to the inside of Darlington back in there, but mainly single file through the majority of the field is Andrew Miller. Closing into the back bumper of Diego Yepez for the race lead here on lap 5.
See, Miller already, Dupez, I don't know if he got into the wall or not, but got a huge run there. All the way back up to the back bumper. Dupez can't quite get there yet. That check up there coming off the corner is going to open the door for Baird. 16, big slide down in there, and he's going to go by. So's Orta in that 3 car. Miller just got really slow there through the corner. Looks like he's going to lose even more track position.
Yeah, if you get stuck in that outside lane through turns 1 and 2, you're going to fall back tremendously, and that is exactly what happened to Nathan, or should I say Andrew Miller there, through that corner. Buddy rebounded nicely, trying to catch back up to the back bumper of Silas Orta. And it's Nathan Baird right behind the back bumper of the Yepez for this race lead. But Silas Orta's looking there on the inside. Baird looking on the inside of Yepez. They're going to stay in their respective positions right there, as Bartow, Davidson, and Harris are closing in. And Shane Lake not too far behind either there in the number 15. Look at that gap between Stapleton and Fitzwater. It's 2 seconds between the 97 and the 9. So the top 12 have checked out here at Darlington. The rest of the field a little ways behind. And Ethan Lewis in the number 6 machine, and Ashlyn Boyd as well, have had issues so far, as Baird goes to the inside for the race lead. And Yepez is going to lose 4, maybe 5 positions in one corner here at Darlington.
Yepez just completely got up and out of the groove there. He's going to lose all that track position that he had early on in the going and it earned in qualifying. See, Davidson goes by, Chase Harris going to go by, Troxel's probably going to get him off the corner. That's a huge mistake there by Yepez, and it's going to cost him dearly early here.
And a lap led for Nathan Baird. That's an extra bonus point towards the championship, and with only 4 points ahead of Shane Lake, and Shane Lake about to enter the top 10. That is a huge point right there for Nathan Baird. So now Shane Lake needs 5 points on Nathan Baird to win the championship, not 4, because Baird has an extra point towards the championship for leading that lap right there. Silas Orta, Andrew Miller, Trey Bartow up the 4th, and Mark Davidson rounding up the top 5. Yepez fell back quite a bit right there. And here comes Shane Lake for a position. He continues to move his way through the field. That is for 10th on Eli Bright in the number 33. Bright's going to fall back and lose 3 positions in one corner as Stapleton and Troxel both get to the inside of him. And now Shane Lake is inside the top 10, looking to close in on Nathan Baird for this championship.
See Shane Lake moving his way up. Obviously, he does have to finish a few spots in ahead of Nathan Baird in order to have a shot at this championship, but it's early on in the going. Anything and everything can happen here. So we'll just have to see how this all plays out throughout the race, but not too bad a start here for the driver, the number 15, if he's looking to chase down that 16.
Not at all. Up to the 9th position now, as he's also gotten around Stapleton and Troxel. So we'll have to see what Shane Lake can do. And considering he started on the outside lane, this is not a place where you want to start on that outside lane. It is difficult to get down to the bottom. Shane Lake did that right away at the start of the race, and that has given him a huge advantage here in this one so far. And as long as he's within striking range, he's only 2 seconds behind our race leader, Nathan Baird. As long as he's within striking range throughout this entire race, he's going to make that 16 race hard, and you never know when our race leader, Nathan Baird, could make a mistake, but he's holding on to this race lead. But Silas Orta, Andrew Miller's going to get a run on Orta right there to the inside of turn 1. Bartow's going to go with him, and Orta really had the check up into the entry. He's going to lose a ton of ground right there. Davidson to the inside of Orta. That is for 4th. They're going to be side by side off the corner. Orta is going to avoid hitting the outside wall, thankfully. He's going to fall back and lose that track position that he had from 2nd all the way down to possibly 6th as Chase Harris moves to the inside of the 3 machine. So now it's Nathan Baird looking to win the championship. Andrew Mello looking to get his 3rd win of the season. And in his final ever Chick-Fil-A Cup Series race, Trey Bartow running 3rd here at Darlington.
Trey Bartow just strong early on here in the going. Hasn't led yet. Obviously, he would totally... The walk-off for the ages, that would be to win in his final race. Would be an unbelievable achievement there. But so far, so good. Has kept the car out of the wall, and that's really all you've got to do here early on in the going. You know, you don't have to lead right now. You know, you want to save it for later in the race, you know, when it really comes down to it, and you got guys on older tires.
Miller to the inside of Nathan Baird for the race lead. Bartow had a run on Miller, but Miller was like, no, you don't.
And we have a caution.
And LJ Samet into the outside wall in the number 66. And that will calm these guys down once we get back to the line here at Darlington. Andrew Miller, Trey Bartow. 1-2 as Baird falls back to 4th. Baird's still holding on to that championship lead, but it's going to be very, very interesting to see if Shane Lake can close in. And imagine these guys are going to come down the pit lane right here. And with a 27 to 29 lap fuel run, I'm trying to do the math here. We got ourselves 62 laps to go. It's still going to be a two-stop race when they come down this time by, but it could be right near the end of the race when that last cycle begins. Tough break for LJ Samet in the 66 machine. Been a tough season for his rookie year there at North State Racing, and it looks like it's going to end a little prematurely. I believe that Ethan Lewis might be out of the race in the 6 machine. Tough break for Lewis there, and we saw Ashland Boyd down the pit lane earlier on, possibly to repair some damage. Andrew Miller will lead the field down the pit lane. Trey Bartow, Mark Davidson, Nathan Baird, and Silas Orta. We went 15 laps into that run on these tires, and imagine all these guys are going to be taking 4 good years here onto this pit stop.
I would definitely imagine that too. Obviously, it's still early on in the going, but anything beyond a lap or 2 here, and realistically, you have to be into pit for tires here. So definitely not a surprise here early on to see everybody pitting in and taking tires.
And we'll see what Trey Barter does in the number 4 machine here. Second on the racetrack, Nathan Baird. That caution came out at a good time for Baird because he was falling back, lost a lot of momentum there, and he's going to come down the pit lane in 4th. And 4 tire stops all around for this entire field. Looks like Bartow's done. Yepez is done as well. Shane Lake done too. And Baird is going to lose no positions. He remains in the position he came down the pit lane. Andrew Miller wins the race off the pit lane with Trey Bartow, Mark Davidson, Nathan Baird, Sebastian Kukulon. But looky here, Shane Lake, a great pit stop on that Velocity Racing team. They are going to only be 2 positions behind Nathan Baird. Remember, Lake needs 5 points on Baird at this point in order to surpass him in the championship. So we'll have to see if he can surpass him on the racetrack here in this one. All these guys going to cycle through here, get into their respective positions on the racetrack. Meanwhile, we'll go ahead and see what happens to bring out the first caution of the day here in the Mello Yello Southern 500 at Darlington, the finale race in Season 9 of the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series. Oh, this is why we are under caution for the first time today here in the Mello Yello Southern 500. Reagan Whitlock had hit the outside wall. LJ Samet in the 66 was trying to get around him, but John Arndt, who won this race 2 years ago, had a run to the inside, and yeah, too close for comfort right there. Samet cut down on John Arndt and into the outside wall. Went the driver of the number 66. Allen got a bit of damage right there, but the damage that Allen got isn't uncommon here at Darlington, so hopefully Allen can continue a little bit better. Obviously, you see Dale Lightning, he's gotten a couple Darlington stripes already himself, but that's all that ensued there entering turn number 2, or should I say turn number 3. LJ Samet with some rear end damage there as he got spun around by John Arndt.
So you just watch the 66 and the 05. 66 going to take the high lane. John Arndt's going to be like, no, you don't. And that's going to put an end to Sameto's season right there. Tough way to end the season for him. Not overall, outside of a okay run at Watkins Glen that ended sour, not particularly a great season there for the 66 team.
Nah, unfortunately been a tough one for this team, but we'll say he will be able to continue in this race at least, maybe salvage a little bit, but I don't think he's going to be able to contend for the win later on in this one. Going to be interesting to see how this one plays out. Andrew Miller, race leader after he won the race off the pit lane. Let's see what happens on the restart here in the Mello Yello Southern 500. We are back here at the Darlington Raceway. First restart here in this finale race for the Mello Yello Southern 500. And you can take a look at the points as they currently run right there on the corner of your screen. Nathan Baird's got 7 right now on Shane Lake. But if Shane Lake can get 5 positions on him here in a moment, Shane Lake could take that points lead here. We're still early on in the Mello Yello Southern 500, lap 19 of 74. And it's Andrew Miller leading the field in the 24, but in his final ever Chick-Fil-A Cup Series race, Trey Bartow runs second. Mark Davidson, he's doing the best he can. If he wins the race, Baird and Lake wreck out, he could possibly steal the championship. A very slim chance, though. Nathan Baird there in 4th, and then Sebastian Kukulon rounding out the top 5 with Shane Lake in 6th. Silas Orta, Nathan Stapleton, Zachary Fitzwater, and Thomas Troxel Only driver out of the race so far is Ethan Lewis. Everybody else except for Ashlyn Boyd, who's 2 laps down on the lead lap. Back to racing lap 19 of 74 here at Darlington. 55 laps to go.
Nobody gaining, nobody really losing time on that restart. Everybody looks to be pretty calm for now. Obviously, we're going to have to see who's the one who's willing to make the first move. Bartow's going to do it.
In his last Chick-Fil-A Cup Series race, Trey Bartow to the inside of Andrew Miller for the race lead. Miller, though, will hold that outside lane and lead lap 20, but Bartow does the inside, and Baird's not going to let Shane Lake get to him. To the inside of Mark Davidson, and here comes Bartow to the inside for the race lead on Andrew Miller, side by side off of turn number 2. Miller will avoid hitting the outside wall, and Trey Bartow to the race lead in his final race here in the Mello Yello Southern 500.
As to Bartow, like we were saying, just totally in control of that race car right now. That thing is flying out there, and he's going to be interesting to see how long he can keep in the lead. But 15 car Shane Lake, obviously, he has to beat Baird by a couple points or couple positions, but also keep in mind, too, if he can get up there and lead a lap, that's going to neutralize that bonus point that Nathan Baird got earlier, which is still making only a 4-point deficit here. So we're going to have to see. That 15 car, though, is closing in on the 16 machine.
Yeah, he definitely is. They're currently running in the 4th position, but Baird is also running really strong right here. Miller fell off the face of the earth right there after he got stuck in the outside lane, and Baird might do the same to Bartow. Baird looking to back to the inside of Trey Bartow for the race lead, and Nathan Baird is going to be in a side-by-side battle down the backstretch. This will bring in Kukalon and Shane Lake to this lead battle, but Nathan Baird back to the point here at Darlington. Bartow, though, will clear remain in second. Of course, that's his teammate, Sebastian Kukalon, right behind him. He's going to let him in right there, and Bartow's going to do the crossover on Nathan Baird. It's his last race. He don't care that Baird's battling for the championship, and that's going to put Baird on the outside. There goes Shane Lake around the 16 on lap 24.
Baird is not done losing spots either. If he doesn't get to the inside of Stapleton might let him in there, but even though Stapleton lets him in, Shane Lake's not done moving up spots here. He's going to get to the inside of Kukalon, see if they stay clean off the corner. Shane Lake almost clear. Now he's going to try and set his sights, see if he can get up to that 4-car Trey Bartow and maybe gain that bonus point for leading a lap.
But Baird going to get back to the inside, and Orta's going to fall back on the outside lane right there. That's going to put Orta out of contention for the time being, and right here, I don't think Shane Lake wants to see Nathan Baird right behind him, but they got respect for each other coming into this race. They had a bit of a talk, you know. It wasn't any trash talking or anything, but they know the competitor that they are facing coming into this race. Of course, Shane Lake's won 4 times this season. Nathan Baird won this championship 1 year ago, so we'll have to see how it all goes down. But I'd imagine it's going to be a clean race between these two guys. But right now, Baird continues to hold on by 4 points to this championship lead. But if Shane Lake can get up there, lead this race, get that extra bonus point, and if he wins, you got to remember, you get all those bonus points for winning the race. I believe 4 extra points for winning. Shane Lake is right there. He can smell this championship here at Darlington. It's going to be a tight one all the way to the finish, and we still have 49 laps to go here in the Southern 500. But how about this? Trey Bartow. He's been in the 4 for every single Chick-Fil-A Cup Series race. This is his final ever ride in the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series, and here he is leading in the finale race of the Mello Yello Southern 500.
Something worth noting was doing the math. We pit on, I don't remember what the lap we pit was,
lap
but
16, I do believe.
You did the 2-stop math. That puts the last pit stop set to be around lap 70 if it stays green, which obviously we don't know what's going to be like for that. But that's going to put these guys in a really interesting box because obviously we know tires are the all-end-all be-all here, but if you get a late race pit stop, having a cycle for fuel and stuff at 5 laps to go, that's going to make this race extremely interesting late in the going on strategy of who stays out, who doesn't, who takes 4, and all that.
Yeah, it's going to get interesting if that becomes the case because, you know, there is that possibility this race could stay green. It's been a relatively clean race out through that one wreck we saw with LJ Samet, just a simple incident, so we're going to have to see how it all goes down right here. Mark Davidson looking to run a Nathan Stapleton. How about another guy in his final ever Chick-Fil-A Cup Series start, at least for the time being, going to be a full-time owner next season. Nathan Stapleton there running in 5th. Great run for NS Racing. Has been the best of seasons for Stapleton coming into this Mello Yello Southern 500, but here he is, running in 5th. Kukulon, being respectful to his retiring teammate right ahead of him, Titan Fury Motorsports has yet to win a race this season, and they've been the owner's champion the past 2 seasons, so they really fell off a cliff this year. But wouldn't that be something for Igor Breto's team if his legendary driver Trey Bartsch could pull it off here at Darlington? Shane Lake getting a little aggressive there on Kukulon. And you know, Nathan Baird he's fine where he is right now. As long as they stay that way, Baird will be perfectly fine with it. But, you know Shane Lake's going to be aggressive for this race lead here in a moment if he can get the opportunity on Kukulon. But with the tires wearing out, these guys relatively staying in their respective positions and pretty much staying right in their respective positions, kind of racing this thing out, being respectful with each other. But Lake might get a run on Kukulon right here. We're just going to have to see if he can power it down on the inside, strong enough to get around this 13 machine. It's going to be a tight one. That's going to give Bartow an advantage. That might give Baird a bit of an advantage. Or will it? Stapleton to the inside. He's got a long line of guys behind him. And Baird's going to fall back into 16. Stapleton, Davidson, Troxel, and Gatlin Downey. And right there, Shane Lake currently holds on to the championship. He's going to go back to the inside of Kukulon, look to take second away, and this time he's going to clear him. Another position for Shane Lake. And just like that, in one lap, the championship changes hands. Shane Lake currently the points leader as Baird continues to fall back. That 16 losing a ton of ground. Got stuck in that outside lane, and there was no hole for him to go. And now Baird outside the top 10 here on lap 33.
And if he doesn't get careful and get down to get some laps put down here, he's going to fall outside of the top 15 because he's got Fisher G still wants to get back up there and see if he can gain some spots. Cody Sill, Eli Bright. He, got to keep an eye on that 16. That's a lot of cars now in between him and the 15 of Shane Lake. It's going to be interesting to see, if and when he can get back up there. But, it's going to be interesting now. Right back to where we were at Hillside almost of sorts. But
I don't know if Bartow wants Shane Lake to win again. Bartow, you see, there's one guy, if there's any one guy out here that does not want to see a championship competitor race him. Maybe that's not the right thing to say there. But if there's any guy who is going to race a championship competitor hard in this field who's not part of this championship battle, it's going to be Bartow. This is his last race in the series. He ain't going to let anything slide here today, even if you're battling for a championship. And Bartow going to do all he can to hold off Shane Lake right here. But now Shane Lake is in that comfortable position. He's fine with how things are rolling right now. Kukulon, though, getting a little racy on that 15 machine. It's going to be interesting. Guys like Kukulon, Stapleton, and maybe even Mark Davidson. I know Davidson has a mathematical shot, but at this point, I just don't see it happening. They might race respectively around Shane Lake here. Nathan Baird fell all the way back to 13th. You see the difference right there on the corner of your screen. Hopefully you do. I don't know if I had enough time to edit that in. That's why I said periodically throughout the race you'll see the points as they run. But right now, Shane Lake is your championship leader. And if he can get this extra bonus point towards the championship, if he can get around Trey Bartow, that's going to go a long ways towards winning this championship here today at Darlington.
Gotta give credit to the 4-car, though. He has absolutely just parked the bus, per se, for the past couple of laps here. Actually, for a good part of this run since he took the lead, he's really just parked the bus right there in the middle of the track. He's holding that lead for now. Obviously, Shane Lake in the 15. Obviously would love to get that bonus point here, but it's not. I'd say that he'll probably try and get it anyway, but it's not an end-all, be-all, because with where you're running right now, if you're Shane Lake, you also have to keep in mind that 16 car has a lot of ground to make up versus where you're sitting right now. Risk versus a reward. Do you go for that, try and go for that lead and risk making a mistake? Because as we've seen, the 16 car, he is just getting punished in the midfield currently.
Yeah, he gets stuck in that outside lane again right there, and that's another handful of positions that he's going to lose right there, so he's going to fall even further back through the field. And look at this. Alexander Rowe, now if things really get wacky in this race, here is Alexander Rowe, now inside the top 20. Remember, he started in the last position, and he still has that shot. He's got the best shot outside of Shane Lake and Nathan Baird, and you saw there on the corner of your screen. Shane Lake going to get that bonus point towards the championship as Bartow falls all the way back to 5th. So just like that, Shane Lake looking for his 5th win of the year. Unprecedented amount of wins in any season. Obviously, Chase Harris did that already in IndyCar. But now Shane Lake looking to do it in Chick-Fil-A Cup. And here he is with 35 laps to go, your race leader in the Mello Yello Southern 500.
And interesting to note, they have a small bit of a gap kind of form. These top guys are definitely starting to form some gaps in between them, which if you're Nathan Baird, that's a very bad thing. You know, you want it to be where you can gain track position back quickly, but Nathan Baird sitting there in 19th, probably going to be close to 5 seconds behind the leader when they hit the line this time. So, you know, if you're that 16...
Oh, Yellow back out on the racetrack.
Oh, boy.
And who was it? Yepez in the 88, a massive accident, and it was Samet again. Chase Harris in the 40, and Dale Lightning. Oh, boy, it was a big wreck in the back of the field. Brett Sierra in the 04. John Andrews, Ryan Arani, Ace Garcia, Dale Lightning, LJ Samet, Chase Harris. Now, oh boy, this is going to be interesting. They will still have to make another stop.
Oh, hello.
After this. And Bartow, oh, what in the world? Bartow going to pull some strategy here. And it looks like Nathan Baird will come down as well. About 4 guys staying out. That is very interesting. We'll have to see what that can do later on. Shane Lake comes down the pit lane as the race leader, with Sebastian Kukel and Nathan Stapleton and Mark Davidson behind him. Bartow will take the race lead. Won't lead this lap, and Shane Lake's got to be careful here on the pit lane to not get into all the guys who were wrecked.
Now, the interesting thing I would be worried about if you're Lake and Baird is those guys in front of you who just stayed out are going to have to pit in about 4 laps. They can't go much longer.
There's no way. I do not understand why they stayed out right there. Bartow in the 4.
They were all about ready to... Did they? Oh, they did all take... Did they all take 4 tires there?
I believe they did. They should be taking 4 tires. Baird's taking 4 tires. Obviously, we saw him fall back through the field. That's why he's as deep as he is. 3 wide off the pit lane right there. And he's going to be mired back in the field. The Shane Lake holding on to the effective race lead. Obviously, we have a few guys who stayed out. Bartow, Keegan Thompson, Herja Laravan Alonso, and Nathan Faden. So this will be interesting here because, like I said, these 4 guys, they're going to have to come down the pit lane here very soon. And if I'm any of these guys, I do not understand why you stay out because, yeah, they're going to come down this time.
Right now. Okay. Interesting.
Interesting
That's a
move
weird
out
strategy.
of Bartow. And I don't know what you're trying to gain out of that. Now, I think I might know what's going on here. We're right there, 33 laps to go, and that's a bit of a stretch to make it to the end. But I think these 4 guys are like, you know what? If we get another caution in this race, come down 1 lap after, we can stretch it a little bit farther than the rest of the field. And Bartow's taking that shot right there. Now, we need another caution, I think, for that to happen. They're going to have the caution laps here. In yesterday's Turkey Hill Series race, we ran the last 32 laps without a pit stop. They had that 1 wreck early on in the race. They all came down then, and then that was it, the rest of the race. So we'll have to see if that's the case here for these guys, trying to stay out and get that advantage later on if this becomes a fuel mileage race. They're going to take 4 tires, I do believe. That was a bit quick for 4. They may have only taken 2 back in there. But Bartow, Keegan Thompson, Herja Laravan Alonso, Nathan Faden, they're going to go to the back of the field. And Shane Lake will re-inherit the race lead. Bartow taking a shot right there. He wants to win this race. And his crew chief may be thinking that's the move to go to win it. Shane Lake, your race leader. Nathan Stapleton, Gatlin Downey, Mark Davidson, and Thomas Troxel. The top 5 with Mitchell Henderson, Fisher G, Cody Sill, Sam and Ozkan, the top 10. Some new faces there up front. Alexander O currently ahead of Nathan Baird. Nathan Baird down in 16th. We'll have to see if Nathan Baird can gain that ground back up once we get back to racing. But first, let's go ahead and see what happened to bring up the second caution of the day here in the Mello Yello Southern 500. Big accident between Chase Harris, Diego Yepez, Brett Sierra, and others here on lap number 41. And this is what happened to bring out this second caution in a massive accident this time here at Darlington. Season's ending right here. Brett Sear in the 04 was looking at the inside of Cameron Darlington, and Matt Day was like, "What are you doing, bro?" And Dalio, bit of an extended contact right there through the corner. Sear was trying to do all he can to save it, but Dalio was like, "You cut right in front of me, man." Dalio, the seasoned veteran, Sear, the rookie, unfortunately going to take Sear out, and then has him in the 64, right into him. Ryan Durrani as well, and the Chase Harris outside pulls it and nowhere to go. John Andrews in the 67 as Durrani comes down. Durrani swipes John Arndt. John Arndt's second incident of the day, and he's not the only guy with a second incident in this one. Dale Lightning right into him. Diego Pez. Boom. And then Ashland Boyd, Ace Garcia get caught up as well. LJ Semedo actually got into Brett Sear, who was still back up there on the racetrack. So it's such a tough break for all those guys. I mean, none of these guys had good seasons, maybe with the exception of Durrani. But I don't even think any of these guys, with the exception of Haslam, even won this season. And they all get caught up in this accident here at Darlington.
So just watch here, Dalio in that 75. He's like, I really don't like the fact that you're sitting here right now. And completely KOs the 04. Equan has him. A flip at Darlington. You don't see that any day, so he should get bonus points for that. And yeah, that's a tough way to end the season for all those guys there. Like you were saying, not a great season for most of these guys. Obviously, Durrani made the chase, but outside of that, tough way to end tough seasons overall for a lot of those guys.
Thankfully, this accident did not involve any of our championship competitors. You see Lightning and Semedo, their days are going to be done. And like I said, that strategy call, I don't get it. We'll have to see if fuel does become an issue later on, but Trey Bartow may have just cost himself a win. He has a strong car, no doubt about it, as it's very windy in here now. But either way, Trey Bartow and the 4 going to be in the back of the field as Shane Lake will lead us to the green flag for our second restart of the night here in the Mello Yello Southern 500. And we are back here. It'll be 30 laps to go when we restart, so for these guys to stretch the fuel, it will be very, very close, and that could really make things interesting. Now, obviously, we saw those 4 guys coming down the pit lane. Trey Bartow, Keegan Thompson, here to Larvin Alonso, and Nathan Faden. They have one more lap than the rest of the field, but as me and Matt were talking under the break there, don't know if that's going to be enough for them to have a difference later on in the race. These guys did come down with 32 laps to go. Bartow and those guys came down with 31 laps to go. This time by 30. Actually, they came down with 32 laps to go. These guys came down with 33 laps to go, so I just don't know. I just don't know if it's going to happen. We're just going to have to see. This could become a fuel mileage race right at the end. Now, if you remember Atlanta, when Shane Lake won his first race of the season, he won that on fuel mileage. That could play into his favor. He might know how to save that fuel a little bit better than others here during this run. Shane Lake, Nathan Stapleton, Gatlin Downey, Mark Davidson, Thomas Troxel, Nathan Baird, back in 16th, now 15th. I believe someone else may have had an issue possibly, so we'll have to see how that all goes down. Back to racing with 30 to go in the Mello Yello Southern 500.
I don't know. I mean, we could get another yellow. I'm not going to bet on it. We've had, for the most part, it's the front guys are all staying clean today. Downey, people starting to, you can definitely see one thing, though, for sure. These guys are definitely starting to get a lot more aggressive on these restarts throughout the race. You know, people definitely more willing now to start to make moves and get up to the field. But 15 car Shane Lake here at the stripe. Early checkout here on the restart, but that is a log jam behind him. Stapleton very slow on the top side.
Yeah, that's going to hurt his chances of a race victory. Cody Sill, Mitchell Henderson there as well. A bit of a hornet's nest back in there as they race side by side down the backstretch, but a great jump, like you said, out of Shane Lake. You got Gatlin Downey right there. Won last week, looking to win, I should say, the last 2 races of the season. And the way things are looking right now, he's going to be the 13th driver in points, which means the best driver that did not make the chase this year. Obviously, like I mentioned, won last week. He's also going for the Rookie of the Year, but the guy he's battling that Rookie of the Year with is Shane Lake. So, Downey might be a little aggressive here with Shane Lake. Ozkan's the guy who's leading that Rookie of the Year right now, however, and they only have one other rookie in between them. So the way things currently run, Samet Ozkan would be the Rookie of the Year, but Shane Lake wouldn't need the Rookie of the Year for a reserve next year if he were to win the championship. And right now, the way things are currently running, he would be your champion. Nathan Baird still back in there. He did move up position as Patrick Smith falls back in the 30 machine. But Alexander Rowe has moved his way up as well, up to now 13th in the number 25 machine. And hey, who knows what's going to happen in this race. Shane Lake in the 15 could wreck, could blow an engine. Knock on wood, I hope that doesn't happen. But, you know, just so much racing left to go here at Darlington. 25 laps to go next time by, to be exact. And we also are probably going to have another cycle of pit stops right at the end of this race. So, hold on to whatever you can hold on to. This is going to get wild here in this finale race. Last 25 laps of the season here at Darlington, and Shane Lake continuing to lead the Mello Yello Southern 500.
And not to worry without mention, Shane Lake's teammate Thomas Troxell has been strong all day, moving up through the field here on this restart. This could get interesting too if the two teammates battle it out here late in the going of this race. Obviously, Troxell, complete boomer bust this year, but when he does boom, it has been sensational for that 35 team. He's up to second. Fourth win on the season.
He's holding up Gatlin Downey right now, so that's helping out Shane Lake. And you mentioned, you know, 3 wins on the year for Thomas Troxell, including the NOFSRL 500 in Michigan. That was a huge win for Troxell, but also won Talladega and Pocono before that. And like you said, he's really deep in the points, but he's got 3 wins. Just like his teammate had 3 wins at one point before he won Watkins Glen, of course. And Shane Lake right now going for his 5th win of the season in a 30-race season with equal ratings. That's pretty impressive right there out of the Velocity Racing driver. And if I'm Shane Lake, I'm glad to see my teammate right behind me, because you know that Troxell's going to race respectively against Shane Lake in this championship battle. So we'll have to see how that all goes down. Nathan Baird!
Where did Baird?
Oh boy, he got stuck in an outside lane, it looks like, down to 19th. And this is just getting worse for Nathan Baird now. Midway through the field for the number 16. I just don't know, man. Nathan Baird, he's done all he can, but then he got stuck in the outside lane, and that first time, he was running third at the time when he got stuck in that outside lane. Just gone backwards since then. Alexander Rowe, he's fighting for something, though. He's in 12th now. Watch out for Rowe. You see the points there on the corner of your screen, of course, periodically through the race. Alexander Rowe's been creeping his way up towards those guys, but Shane Lake does have an advantage on all these guys right now as he is leading this race. And not only that, if he can lead the most laps here in this one, that's an extra bonus point towards the championship. We're going to have to see if Shane Lake does, in fact, get that. But Thomas Troxell right behind him there in second. Gatlin Downey, Nathan Stapleton, Cody Sill, the top 5. Then it's Fisher G, Samet Ozkan, Mitchell Henderson, Mark Davidson, and Sebastian Kukalon. There goes Downey for second on Thomas Troxell. And Downey will take it away, most likely. Side by side up the corner. Cody Sill with a run on Stapleton for the 4th position. Stapleton will get stuck on the outside again, and Troxell will hold on to second.
That's a strong run into 1 and 2. Have not seen a lot of guys pull that off here yet today to hold off that. Now, what's the bonus point for leading the most laps, or is that
just
not a
one more bonus point for leading the most laps? But if he wins, I mean, effectively, if Shane Lake wins this race, he's going to win the championship. No doubt about it, because it's 4 extra points from the 42 that you get. So 46 for the win. Obviously, you lead a lap, you automatically get 47. If you lead the most laps, you get 48 points. So Shane Lake definitely looking to get 48 points. And if you can do that, the next highest anyone else can get would, in fact, be 42 points. That'd be 6 points, and that means Shane Lake would win the championship regardless of what happens to Nathan Baird. So the way things are currently running, nobody can get to Shane Lake in this championship. Nathan Baird, mired deep in the field. It's going to take a miracle for him to take this back away from Shane Lake. Tough break for Nathan Baird, especially what happened to him last week at Daytona, getting caught up in an accident. That put him in the situation. He went into that Daytona race with a 41-point lead, and the way things are looking right now, he may lose that championship in the number 16 machine, but we are still far from over. Lap 57 of 74. They continue to battle for second. Downey is not going to let Troxell keep that second position. If he can hold the inside in 1, he may be able to get it, but Troxell will clear entering 1. He can't get to that inside through the corner. And that's going to jam all these guys up. So if Downey can get to the inside of Troxel, that's going to shoot Troxel to the outside lane, and Troxel's going to lose a ton of ground to all these guys coming behind him.
Well, it's kind of interesting because I don't think, from what I'm looking at, 15 of Shane Lake doesn't look as fast as he was early in the run, but his teammate Thomas Troxel is playing exceptional defense for him right now on the back end. Obviously, they did close in a little bit, but his teammate Troxel's been playing batting defense for him at the moment here, and that's helping the 15, at least at the moment, hold that lead here. Now, obviously, we're under 20 to go. This is where it's going to start to get really interesting in about 10 laps from now, because obviously we don't know. We haven't had a full green flag run here yet in this race, so we're about to find out, just how far the fuel window can go here at the Darlington Raceway.
Yeah, it's going to be tight, and I really don't think it's going to be able to happen. It was 30 laps when they took the green flag, and even that is stretching it on a normal tank, so we're just going to have to see how it all plays out. I'm going to check back in with those guys. Bartow, Faden, that's such a heartbreaker for Bartow. I really don't understand that call. And it's so unfortunate in his final ever race for that to happen. It was great to see him up front, but unfortunately, Trey Bartow looks like that's going to be the end of his career right there. Who knows? It could get interesting near the end. We never mentioned the guys who got knocked out. Obviously, we saw that huge wreck that happened a moment ago. Chase Harrison, the number 40 machine, out of the race as they're going to get around Durrani here up front. This is going to get a little interesting. Don't think it's much of an issue right now. Now, here's the thing. If we end up with a caution right now, then we won't have to worry about fuel, and it's going to be a race to the finish. And that actually might be what Shane Lake wants to see, because Nathan Baird's so far behind as it is. I just don't see it being too much of an issue as Alexander Rowe gets stuck in an outside lane. Oh, and he might get held up here by Durrani in the 68 if he's not careful. McMillan right behind the 25 right there, but looks like they will all get around him cleanly. But as I was about to say, out of the race, Chase Harris there in the number 40 machine, Diego Yepes, Brett Sierra, Iquan Hasm, John Andrews, Dale Lighting, Ace Garcia, LJ Sametto, and Ashlyn Boyd, along with Ethan Lewis, who got knocked out really early on in the race from a mechanical issue. And there we go. Troxel gets shoved out of line, and Downey will finally take second away from the 35 machine. Cody Sill up to third, and Fisher G might get a run to the inside of the 35 as well.
You gotta give credit to Troxel, though. I mean, he did play a lot of defense there for his teammate Shane Lake, held him off for a pretty good period of time. Now, obviously, we're gonna see here, the more these guys get spread out, though, the more, say, one of these top runners makes a mistake, gets a little out of the groove, it gives you a bit of a buffer room. So we'll just have to see here. Obviously, top two starting to separate themselves in Downey and Shane Lake, but at 11 laps to go, if you're sitting up on those pit boxes, you've got to be clicking your pens nervous here, because this, like we were saying earlier, we don't know how. We think it's about 27 to 28 laps on a tank, but it's, that could still be up in the air. We haven't seen a full green flag run yet in this race, so we're going to see 27 laps, though, 27 laps puts them at about 3 laps from now. So we're going to find out here really, really soon who has enough gas.
Yeah, this could be interesting. These guys, though, could come down a little bit earlier than when the finish of the race is, so if everyone has to make a stop, that'll play in the Shane Lake's favor, but we'll just have to see. Downey's coming. That 22 might just be the fastest car on the racetrack here. Looking to cap off the season with 2 straight wins, best of the rest, and maybe even the Rookie of the Year. He's going to have Ozkan and Lake fall back enough. I don't think Lake's going to fall back too much in this race if this stays green, but either way, Downey's closing in right there. And we only have 9 laps to go here at Darlington. The final 9 laps of the season, and Gatlin Downey to the inside. It's really tough to make a move in 3 and 4 on warm tires. You got to make it in 1 and 2, and Downey knows that as well, but he tried to get that run to the inside. Just couldn't hold on to it there on the number 15. So Shane Lake continues to lead, and I believe at this point Shane Lake has led the most laps as well, so that gives the point advantage to Shane Lake. But even at this point, Nathan Baird's too far behind for that to really even be an issue. And it's going to really be tight because that 16 basically is going to need for him to be able to make it to the end of this race in order for him to have a shot at this championship at this point. Because, I think it's pretty obvious that all these guys are going to have to come down. And even Nathan Baird came down the same lap as Shane Lake. I just don't think that's going to happen. So It's not over yet, but it's looking even dimmer and dimmer for Nathan Baird in this championship fight. It's now 7 laps to go in the Mello Yello Southern 500. Shane Lake continues to lead. When will they come down the pit lane? They need a little bit more gas to make it to the end. Will anybody peek down to this time? Not quite yet. It's going to be tight. We'll have to see how it all goes down.
Yeah, my numbers have them coming in next time by. I would expect to start seeing people in. Obviously, and if you're the 15 of Shane Lake 2, you don't have to race the 22 car. Obviously, walking off the season with a 5th win in a championship is unbelievable, but you don't have to race the 22. More important than racing the 22 is keeping your car clean and ahead of Nathan Baird here before the end of the race. Here we go.
Lake, Gatlin Downey down the pit lane. You nailed it. My crew chief right there. Troxel, Stapleton going to stay out. Ozkan, Patrick Smith.
We'll see who gets the overcut. Overcut versus undercut here.
And
should be
Nathan
interesting.
Baird also staying out as well. So the first green flag cycle of the day. Now, what do? Do you take tires or do you go fuel only? Because we only have 5 laps to go. It's a huge guessing game. I almost say you go fuel only, but if you don't, you risk Nathan Baird taking tires to be able to gain an advantage on you. But I think it's going to be fuel only. Nope. It's going to be at least right sides here for Shane Lake in the 15.
Looks like everybody.
Everyone's going to take tires right here. They wear out so much here. Only right sides, though. Only right sides for Shane Lake in the 15. He's side by side with Downey here down the pit lane. Lake's got to be careful coming off here. They cannot risk wrecking. Downey in the 22 will clear. So Lake might not get the win. Bartow is still out there. Remember, these guys stayed out. And Bartow and Alonso, currently the race leader, he's going to have to come down. So will Bartow. Faden going to try to stretch it a little bit more. But Shane Lake, even though he lost the lead to Downey, he still did his job in trying to get this championship. Nathan Baird in the 16, he has come down the pit lane, and I would imagine that he's going to lose some time. There he goes. There's Shane Lake driving by the 16, and that right there might just do it in this Chick-Fil-A Cup Series championship. Nathan Faden continues to lead. Down the pit lane he goes. Troxel getting out in second. This might be between Troxel and Downey for the race win. Here we go. This is, I do believe, 3 laps to go for Downey at the line. He is yet to take in that 3 lap to go signal. Stapleton in the 97 might get out ahead of these guys here. No, he won't. Downey will clear. Shane Lake is going to get around Troxel as well. I do not believe Troxel took tires on his pit stop. Shane Lake's got to be careful. He will. Gatlin Downey, number 22, looking to close out the season with 2 straight wins. It is now 2 laps to go for the number 22. Faden did take the 2 to go signal, but Downey is clear to the race lead here at Darlington. And Shane Lake running in the 3rd position. Here comes Cody Sill. The 37 really strong. But all Shane Lake needs to do is hold on to this top 5 and make sure that Nathan Baird falls back enough. And this championship is the number 15's. White flag in the season, in Season 9 of the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series, for Gatlin Downey in the number 22, here in the Mello Yello Southern 500. What a race it has been, what a season it has been, and it looks like we're going to have another rookie champion in the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series. But Gatlin Downey going to get his 2nd win of the season, another win for owner Derek Hamill. The number 22 of Gatlin Downey will win the Mello Yello Southern 500 here at Darlington. And your Season 9 Chick-Fil-A Cup Series champion is Shane Lake in the number 15. Wow. What a race. What a season. And Shane Lake, 4 wins and a championship in his rookie season here in the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series, season number 9. 3rd place finish. He didn't have enough for the win, but I don't think he's gonna feel too bad about losing the race. Gatlin Downey gets the dub. Shane Lake gets the championship here today at Darlington. What a race. What a race here at Darlington. I'm glad they all came down at the end so that we didn't have any fuel mileage in this finale race, and what a clean race it was as well. But my man, Matt Tuck, you won the championship. At least Shane Lake, your driver, won the championship as an owner. Didn't think it was gonna happen 2 weeks ago when we headed into Daytona, but here we are on Labor Day weekend. Shane Lake is the champion in Season 9 of the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series.
I mean, as they say, anything's possible. Obviously, the way circumstances played out, but by the same token, too, we were talking on a few weeks ago, a finish or two differently, and it could have been Shane Lake waltzing into here with a huge lead, but it didn't matter at the end of the day. Overall had a strong first half of the regular season, then just kind of dipped for a little bit there, but came back absolutely, started the chase off a little cold, but since Hillside just completely went on a tear, caught up to Baird. I think he was close to, after Armory Digital or Michigan, I think he was like 90-something points down, but just completely tore up the field in the past couple weeks and, made it all the way back. That puts him, his last 4 races was a win, a second, a third, and a third.
That is what won him the championship right there. 4 straight top 5s in a row to end this season. And I don't think we would be talking about this if Nathan Baird didn't wreck out last week at Daytona, and that wreck right there changed the entire complexion of the season. And it's unfortunate for Baird, but I think for Baird at least, it's not as hard because he has already won a championship before. We'll definitely see Baird back again next season, no doubt about it. I don't know if it's going to be for his own team or not. We'll have to figure all that out. But what a season this Chick-fil-A Cup Series season has been. That right there, actually, may have just been the largest margin of victory, but such a solid race. And Gatlin Downey caps off the season with 2 straight wins. The sad thing for Downey is he's not going to have enough for the Rookie of the Year. The Rookie of the Year, I do believe, is probably going to go to Ozkan, because we don't have many rookies in between Shane Lake and Ozkan right there, if any. So Ozkan is going to pull off with the Rookie of the Year, and Ozkan, of course, is the regular season champion, so good to see Ozkan able to get a reserve there. Tough break for Downey. Did everything right near the end of this season. Couldn't really get anything out of it except a couple of wins at the end. Take a look at the official results right there back in the field. We saw that big wreck between Chase Harris, Diego Pez, Brett Sierra, Haslam, Andrews, Lightning. Thankfully, that wreck did not have any issue and didn't really affect the outcome of the championship. Obviously, Nathan Baird fell back naturally to 18th. Unfortunately, it will not be enough for Nathan Baird. Still second in the points for him. And Alexander Rowe from last finished 8th. Obviously, Shane Lake and Nathan Baird were too far ahead for him to surpass them in points. But great day for Alexander Rowe. But what a season it was. From Alexander Rowe winning at Daytona to here we are Labor Day, Shane Lake winning the championship here at Darlington. And Matt, it was such a great season for your team, but just in general, what was your favorite moment of the season here in Season 9 of the Chick-fil-A Cup Series?
Realistically, probably the Watkins Glen race. Should have came out of there with a double podium, but we came out of there with another completely ridiculous win. But it's going to be... it'll be a long off season, but definitely a good one there, knowing we've already got at least one guy coming back for next season, possibly 2. Some new additions, can't say, but definitely overall, I'm going to say probably the Watkins Glen. Overall, too, that Watkins Glen race as a whole was pretty dang a couple weeks ago.
It definitely was. Obviously, Shane Lake enjoyed that one. I know you enjoyed that one, being your home racetrack right there. But a lot of the races this season were excellent, and you guys loved it too, and you guys definitely... I think all the factors of this year kind of helped you guys watch the races a little bit more, and not that I care too much about how many views I get, but I definitely noticed there seemed to be a lot more this year than there ever has been, and I love it. I'm glad you guys are enjoying the races that I put out. I try to put a good amount of effort into it, and in this race, oh my goodness, I want to throw my computer out the window. This was the 4th time I tried to record this stupid thing. The game crashed 3 times prior. All those replays you saw, we did after the race recording. We couldn't do the replays again during the race because every time I did so, it crashed. But you guys helped me keep in there. And outside of that, this year has been tough, no doubt about it. I think we can all say that. You guys have actually helped me get through this year and not losing my head to all my friends in, FSRL, all the friends here, all the guys that, that follow this stuff, you guys made this year so much better than what it should have been, for me at least. And I can't thank you guys enough for all the support. God bless you all. Some of the best people I know. And we're looking forward to next year for the NOFSRL Cup Series, season number 10. And Shane Lake is going to be one of those drivers in next season. Probably going to be driving for Velocity Racing once again. But either way, Gatlin Downey gets the race victory here at Darlington. It was a great race all around. And glad to see a good, calm, natural race to end the season. Obviously, Daytona last week was a little bit of a crapshoot for a lot of guys. Thankfully, we did not have that here today at Darlington, and a great way to end the season here in the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series, season number 9. But either way, thank you guys so much for everything. And I'll be doing a few races over the fall, but I will be scaling back by quite a bit here over the fall, just so I can take everything in. I'm back to work, I'm back in school, and it's a little busy for me. And Matt can definitely attest, this race was a pain in the rear end to do. Thankfully, we finally got a recording in, and we got this one to you here for the Mello Yello Southern 500. Here are the final point standings in season number 9 of the NOFSRL Chick-Fil-A Cup Series. We do have one more finale, that's tomorrow for the Haas IndyCar Series at Pocono. Chase Harris going into that race with a 48-point lead, though. Odds are he will pull off of that championship, but hey, stranger things have happened before. We'll have to see if Nicholas Samet can get a second IndyCar Series championship. But either way, thank you guys so much for watching. Congratulations to Gatlin Downey, and congratulations to Shane Lake, your Season 9 NOFSRL Chick-Fil-A Cup Series champion. On behalf of Matt Tuck, here are the final point standings for Season 9 of the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series, and I will see you guys later!